I'm just gonna start off with this. Last episode, as we all can pretty much agree, the pacing was pretty bad, okay? We can all agree with that one. This episode, in my regard, was a lot better with pacing-wise, but it tried to rush in too many elements for beginning this arc. I mean, the entire introduction to an arc is a main crucial thing for when you start a series, okay? Well, this episode, it really forced in way too many elements to introduce and set up the next upcoming arc of Black Bullet. Let me explain why. There's 6 main important things about this episode. 6 main things that happen. And 6 things, that's actually technically way too much. There should always only be 3. But let me tell you why. When the episode starts off, we get to find out that Rentaro is going to be protecting Seitenshi because she's asked him to be able to guard her, be her bodyguard, and stuff like that to protect her from some form of assassins. Now, we don't know exactly why people are hunting her down at the beginning, so I was like, what the hell is going on here? So that's pretty much the setup for the entire episode. Right there is pretty much Seitenshi needed a bodyguard. Okay. So in this middle of the scene, as you get to see this entire plot set up, we see these bunch of characters that come near Rentaro and say, you don't need to be protecting her, have some form of beef with him, and pretty much force him up against the wall, and then, you know, Rentaro shoots at him. But still, who were these characters that were introduced? I mean, they were brought out of nowhere, okay? Maybe they might have some form of issue with Rentaro just coming in trying to guard probably their Hime-sama, but still the point that I'm getting at is, it felt like this entire element of this episode, like right there when those bunch of characters just got introduced, and we're trying to force Rentaro not to guard her, was just rather forced and paced way too fast, because I didn't care about those characters, and it felt like they were only there for a minute and a half, and then they were really not mentioned again, because you see them later part in this episode, in the middle of the assassination attempt, to where they just walk off with, you know, Seitenshi like nothing ever happened, like, for instance, Rentaro didn't do his job. You'd think they would offer some form of fucking gratitude, since Rentaro and Inju is the one that saved her, but they didn't, so that's one of my issues right there. Okay, besides that, let's move on. Now, Kisara, one of the best girls of this series, and needs more screen time, gets more screen time this episode with comedy elements, and we get a character introduction, a Miori, that is pretty much her rival, and they're fighting over Rentaro since, you know, Rentaro has a harem now. So, pretty much what we can get at is this entire element in the middle scene was just comedy. It was fun, and it was funny. I enjoyed the scene, and I love the way Miori just says, oh, your opie is too big, you probably can't see past. I'm like, oh my god, that's freaking funny. It was a very funny scene, and I love the way Inju and Rentaro just grab the table and just walk off of the table, and then not even giving a shit that Miori and Kisara is going to be fighting in a second. So I like that scene. It was really funny. But after that, it moves on rather quickly, too. Then we get this governor dictator dude introduced this episode, and he wants to conquer over the entire world. He wants world domination. Oh, we haven't heard that one before, have we? So, pretty much, he wants world domination. He's thinking higher ideal goals. He wants to kill all the Gastria off, and then he wants to be the ruler of all humanity. So, he's thinking that he's going to be able to take down the Gastria, and then be a dictator over everybody. What the fuck? So is this the main villain of this arc? Is that the main villain, or is there someone else? I don't know, but that's my vibes I'm getting. I'm thinking that Dictator most likely is the main villain of this upcoming arc of Black Bullet. And then right after that, we get into a section with the assassination attempt of Tina. Oh yeah, I actually missed the character introduction of Tina. Tina's character introduction was done right. One of the best moments of this episode. I really enjoyed that section. She was cute, very nice, good character. And then we find out that she's an assassin, and then she does the assassination attempt at the end of this episode. So really, what I could see from this is, this episode just was forced and paced way too fast. Just like last episode, but not as bad. It was understandable. I understand what was going on. It's just, I am having major complaints now that Black Bullet is starting to increase the pacing a lot more than it was. Black Bullet's only going to have like 12 or 13 episodes, so of course anime have to rush it to be able to get to the end goal, but personally, in my opinion, if I was writing or doing an anime, I would not want to rush the story if I was making one season. Save some money back and make a season 2. I mean, if you have to end it on the worst fucking cliffhanger possible, which I hate cliffhangers, but end it on a horrible cliffhanger and give us a season 2. I'd rather have that, have a slow season that actually has development than actually just never getting to season 2 and having the entire anime just butchered. So, that is my opinion on this episode. It was a good episode, not that bad. It's just, I wish they would slow it down, but we're probably not going to get that. It's already been set in stone that this pacing is already going to continue going fast. But overall, I did enjoy this episode. It was enjoyable, and I did love it, and I love the music. The music, oh my god, I love that fucking music. I love Tina, she's a good character. It just, that's my issues with it. So everybody, this is going to be the end of my anime review of Black Bullet this week. Tell me your thoughts on it. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? What's your favorite moments about it? Do you feel like the pacing is too rushed? Do you feel like the pacing is just right? Did you notice last week's episode with its pacing? Everybody, let me know in the comments below. Love you so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.